Welcome to the Business Blueprint, Episode 3. My name is Rich Bruckner, just here to give you guys a little bit of insight. I started off this series just kind of figuring out to give my experience step by step, stuff that I learned in the process starting my first couple of businesses. On the first video, we touched on the differences between an LLC and an S-Corp, the pros and cons of each, and different situations where you might want to incorporate it under an S-Corp or an LLC. In today's video, what I want to discuss is a merchant account. If you don't know what that is, a merchant account is what you use in order to process credit cards and to have those funds added to your business's checking account. Now, why is this important? It's 2023. There's things like Square and easy alternatives to process credit cards, and those things work if you're in a small business, if you're not doing that much. If you're going to a flea market or a farmer's market and you're just doing a little bit of business, especially if it's not a full-time thing, I get it. Starting with Square is what a lot of people will do. But when you're really in business and you're processing a lot of credit cards, you can actually save a lot of money on fees. And, in a lot of cases, Square is just not going to be the right type of business model for you, especially if you're in a high-risk business. That's definitely not going to work for you. In general, easiest way to get a merchant account, you just walk into the bank where you do all your business checking. You talk to one of the bankers, let them know that you need a merchant account. They'll give you an application. They'll ask you a few questions about what type of business you're in, how much you expect to process on your credit cards per month. Pretty simple questions and straightforward. And they'll set you up with a rate, and they'll let you know what qualifications you need to meet. And that's basically it. They'll set everything up for you right then and there. They'll give you a payment gateway. Now, depending on how you're doing business, if you're doing it on the computer, you're going to need to use something like authorized.net. If you're doing business face-to-face, you're going to need some type of interface to actually swipe or tap the credit cards. Those are all things that you'll talk to the banker about. You also have merchant providers. There's one called UpNext that I'm familiar with around here. I don't know if they're nationwide, but I know in my area, they pop up everywhere. For a lot of restaurants and coffee shops, there's one called Toast that's popular. That's like a point of service. Basically, they have the swivel screen, touch screen that you'll walk up. You see these things all the time. You probably don't even think about it unless you're in business. But that's what the system that they use to process your credit cards. And if you're on the internet, you might just have to punch in the actual card information. If you're doing business over the phone, that's a popular thing. And, one thing that you have to be aware of is, with high-risk merchants, you're probably going to be better off going to a broker who's going to actually broker those deals for you. Talk to a lot of different banks to get you the best rates, the lowest reserves. High-risk businesses are very difficult with merchant accounts, and you face a lot of issues, especially with consumer fraud. Those are really the basics of the merchant account. If you want to see some of these more involved issues like, dealing with chargebacks and consumer fraud as a high-risk merchant, leave a comment. Let me know if this is something that people want to hear about. I'll get into more depth about it. Maybe I'll do an episode about, how to fight a chargeback, how to prove your case when you're dealing with consumer fraud. And let me know any other questions that you have about starting a business, running a business, anything that you guys are dealing with that you need help with. I'm more than happy to put a video with the details of my experiences on any of those topics. Subscribe if you want to see more, and thanks for watching.